Oh, all right. I think I got everything. Just checking the stream. If the background is too loud, let me know. So so I guess everything looks like all the audio and stuff is good. Get this sucker going. So all right. So everybody, get this sucker going. It's open topic. That means the viewers, if you got something you want to talk about, put it in the comments. I normally will start off with something, and then we'll just take it there and just see where everything goes. So now I haven't really had a chance to really dive in too much with what's going on in Virginia with the lieutenant governor and the governor, but I know they're both Democrats. And the governor somebody exposed his yearbook. I guess when he was in college or some school in the song. I'm really sure, so I don't really want to say because I really haven't got did too much look into it, but I thought it was interesting when I actually paid attention to the story, and it was like, wait a minute, you got both of these things going on at the same time. If both of these guys have to vacate office, who's next in line? And it would be the attorney general. And then if he's not fit, if he's not able to serve or anything, which he admitted to, being in blackface too. So that means then the Speaker of the House of Delegates in Virginia would take over as governor, and he's a Republican. So I was just wondering what's the real, what's behind all this stuff coming out with these two people, who has, what ties does that attorney general have to big money that's plays a big role in Virginia politics, and just wanted to talk about that because I thought it was just kind of weird. And normally if you just, look at the money, follow the money, you can kind of tell, who's pulling the strings and stuff. And so I was wondering, maybe it's, who knows, could be going on that got their interest of like, okay, we're gonna drop this bombshell on this dude, then we're gonna turn around and do this on this dude, the lieutenant governor with sexual stuff. And one person said it took place in the 2004 Democratic convention with the lieutenant governor. And I'm wondering, it's like 2019, that happened, 15 years ago. For to be 15 years ago, and why are you just saying something now? That's what I don't understand about a lot of these sexual assault victims and stuff. Why do you wait almost 2 decades later, a decade and a half later, to even say something about it? If you felt like you had been violating something, why didn't you go to the authorities when this stuff took place? And for old boy being in, and for the governor, his blackface, that tells a lot, because we all know why they do blackface. Blackface is to mock being dark skinned, especially being a descendant of. It's basically an insult and a derogatory mean towards ADOS people in this country. blackface don't really have, I don't think it really has anything to really do with any other ethnicity group that has melanin to their skin. But they would, when white people put on blackface, they don't do that stuff for nothing but to insult ADOS people and, to excite and arouse white folk. And that's how it always been. But I just thought it was interesting that this stuff came up with both the lieutenant governor and the governor these scandals at the same time. And I was just like, I wonder who would be in control and what is his ties to big money interests in the state of Virginia. And normally when you start connecting the dots like that, you'll find out like who is really calling the shots. I could be wrong, but you just really never know. For one of those women that said this stuff happened with the lieutenant governor, I mean, it's almost 15 years from when you said this took place, and you just not coming out with these allegations. Like, I know if something like that would have happened to me, as soon as it happened and I got away from that person that did this stuff to me, I would have, went, to the proper authority to take care of that problem, to resolve that issue. I wouldn't have not waited 15 years to say anything. So sometimes, you need to start digging in these people's background too and find out, who they connected and tied to. And normally you can start putting pieces together, and you can connect them dots and be like, okay, now I understand why this person probably said it. And I'm not trying to take away anything. Now, if these women so-called was violated or anything, then it should be an investigation. But if you're not telling the truth, then you should face, some harsh penalties. Because even if these allegations aren't true and it was consensual, no matter if that's the fact or not, just the simple fact they was already accused of this type of behavior, that sticks to these people forever, man. It does. I mean, that's the worst thing to be labeled as, a sexual predator. And for us, the governor with that blackface, he talking about he was impersonating Michael Jackson. And I seen that picture, he looked shit like no fucking Michael Jackson. And I'm just being honest. Did not look like Michael Jackson. When I seen that shit, I just started laughing. And I was like, you gotta be a goddamn idiot to believe that. Period. But, the blackface and the racism and stuff that's in the Democratic Party, it's been there forever. All the way up to this day, it's still there in the Democratic Party. And most of these so-called Democrats really aren't real. They're not liberal or anything. Some of them are just flat out just corporate whores. Other ones are conservatives, and because when you go back to the roots of the Democratic Party, it speaks for itself. So, I mean, you just can't really be trusting the Democrats. They have a really nasty history, and I'm just being honest. But I just thought it was just kind of ironic that, you know, the lieutenant governor and the governor both had scandals going. You know, this stuff has came out at the same, you know, it's in the same time frame. First with the blackface with the governor, I think that kicked it off first, and then the sexual allegations on the lieutenant governor. And so I was just wondering, like, because I really ain't did a lot of research on it, but I just thought it was interesting to talk about it. Like, who do these two men know that they done pissed off? Because, I mean, it could be a plethora of reasons why all this stuff finally comes out. I mean, this stuff was in a yearbook. You know, how many, I mean, it's a bunch of people out here with that yearbook. That photo could have been exposed a long time ago. I'm pretty sure the people that was in that class bought yearbooks alone. So it's just funny how this stuff comes out all of a sudden. And so you see, it was like, who pissed these people off? Because that's what it looks like to me. It's like they must have been pissed off the same person. So they like, shit, they finna get rid of both of them clowns. I mean, it could be a lot of reasons why. It could be a whole bunch of reasons why all this stuff is coming out. But that dude did not look like Michael Jackson. I can tell you that right now. Did not look like no Michael Jackson. Looked more like a damn clown, to be honest. And for that stuff to even to be allowed in a yearbook, just that photo alone is just crazy to me. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, back then during them times, it's a lot. You go back and look through yearbooks during certain time periods in this country, you'll probably find more pictures like that. That's why it's just, you know, that's why it's just interesting. It's why all of a sudden that these videos, that picture just came out, and then the allegations on the lieutenant governor. So I guess, I don't know, that's weird. But it could be a plethora of things. And then we got, you know, government shutdown, you know, Thursday. If they don't reach a deal, the government shuts down. Trump goes and gets he's going to declare a national emergency so he can allocate funds from the Pentagon to go towards his wall. And then I seen a few things where Democrats offered $2 billion for Trump wall, and they was like, nah, that ain't even close. 5.7. So I kind of already knew that the Democrats was gonna give them the money, and I think in the end they still gonna give them the money for it. They just gonna find a way to spin it and phrase it so it don't, to make it seem like they didn't cave. But if I was Trump, no, you're gonna give me the money for the wall, and period. Because it's cheaper to just give him the 5.7 that's due, that he asking for, than it is to shut down the government. It cost them more, you know, money the first. Cause if they would have just gave him the money the first time, none of this stuff wouldn't even happen. And they have, you know, economic advisors. It's people that told Nancy Pelosi that the economy was going to lose this amount of money within 30 days of the government being shut down. Nancy Pelosi knew that. Chuck Schumer knew that. Your Democratic leadership was already aware of that, and they still allowed the government to shut down. And now we're facing another government shutdown. But nobody talks about that stuff. Nobody talks about that. They got people crunching the numbers. So, and they got pretty much everything in place for a shutdown. You know, they done paid out all the benefits, Social Security. You know, they just gonna keep running smooth. The bill gonna keep going. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think Homeland Security will probably just be working for free along with the airport security, and the Defense Department will fully pay their employees. So they can't afford to have any, you know, disgruntled employees throughout the government's intelligence agencies. You know, you don't want to create any self-sabotage, so they'll make sure them people get their paychecks. But the stuff they probably would consider like meaningless, you know, government shit, they'll send them home without pay. And the ones that they consider that, but they actually still need to do their jobs, they'll have them work without pay. See how that goes? Fucked up. But, you know, when you have a population that don't really understand what's going on, then you get leadership, government leadership in this country like we have. You know, you got governors, you know, wearing blackface, saying that they was portraying Michael Jackson. You got a lieutenant governor that's 2 women that accused him of sexual assault. Look at, on the federal level, look at the leadership in the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi, you know, a proven corporate whore. You got Chuck Schumer in the Senate, a proven corporate whore. And then you got Donald Trump, a reality TV game show star, host as the president. And you wonder why we have this type of level of dysfunction. People, you gotta wake up and understand that this is the result of decades and decades and decades of the American people just sitting back and not demanding that the government do better and stop even, you know, if these politicians ain't doing what you want, don't fuck with them. Don't fuck with them, because if the government shut down this again, and this is just my view, you know, if the government shut down again, I'm gonna have to say this is on the Democratic leadership in the House. Do I want to see Trump take money and build a wall? I don't know shit about border security. I don't have the information about the border that he has. Not detailed and all that stuff, so I'm not really sure. I would like to see money allocated to a whole bunch of stuff, but you know, it is probably, and I'm not mistaken, probably are some issues down there on the border that really does need to be addressed. And me personally, if he's gonna build a wall, at least, in my view, make it to where you can have some viewing spots, man. I mean, if the taxpayers are gonna pay some money, if you're gonna use taxpayer dollars, because you said that Mexico was going to pay for the wall. So at least make it to where the public can walk across it. At least you know, the Great Wall of China, you can walk across that. You know, you can walk up on it and look out and stuff. You know, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I mean, they need to fix that that whole immigration period too. That whole immigration situation, they need to fix that. Cause you know, I don't have an issue with people coming over here as long as they do it the right way. You know, is the system probably fucked up? This America, everything is fucked up in the when you use common sense and logic, reason and logic. It's you can, yeah, the system's fucked up, but there's got to be something better than the way it's going now. And so the government on Thursday, they can't come up with a plan. It's back to the shutdown again. So I'm not sure how that's really gonna work out, but only time will tell. Time will tell, and we'll find out. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on the background of these women and this lieutenant governor of Virginia, and try to see what I can find out in the governor of Virginia and see if they have any ties to anybody that's trying to do anything big in Virginia. Because for both of these, I ain't never seen nothing like that where the lieutenant governor and the governor at the same time got two different scandals and both calling to be, asking to step down and stuff. I ain't never seen that. Not that I can recall. I just thought that was pretty interesting. Like, who they done pissed off, or who does the next person in line, who are they politically aligned with, and where they money coming from. Because a lot of times money will reveal, who they really are, who's donating, to them campaigns, or who's trying to do something big in that area, because this, it could be some land developers or anything, because, zoning laws or like thorns in your finger, the ones that go up in there, the little bitty thorns. That's what them zoning laws are to, big land developers. But it could be a plethora of reasons why all this stuff came out at the same time, around the same time. And the Democratic Party, and both of them Democrats, and that whole party, from the top all the way down to the local level, is just a cesspool of corruption. And they hide that corruption around social issues. Nobody really wants to talk about that stuff. But that's what they be doing. They hide a lot of stuff, behind social issues. That's why we can't get the things that we need in this country to make society overall better. And that's why you have scandals. They put these scandalous people in there. They already willing to do corrupt this shit in the first place. So of course they're gonna have shady backgrounds. Michael Jackson, this dude's in blackface, and he said he was imitating Michael Jackson. And he looks shit like Michael Jackson. And I'm just being honest. It's just funny. It's just funny, that picture. And and that yearbook is old. So, it's a lot of people that had these pictures. Why all of a sudden now that picture of him comes out? And then you got two different women saying that the lieutenant governor sexually messed with him. And both of these things are going on at the same time. And you're like, who have these people really, really pissed off? Or, who's next in line to take over if they have to step down, and who gives them money in their campaigns to run, and who they tie to. But I just thought that was funny, and then this response was he was trying to impersonate Michael Jackson. I just thought that was really funny, because we all know when white people dress up in blackface, it's a degrading image to American descendant of slaves period. And they know this is to make fun of us. So we all know why they do the blackface. But just the simple fact that how old the yearbook picture is, and the simple fact it just not come out now, and then the stuff, it just kind of makes me raise an eyebrow about what's really going on. Somebody, is up to no good. But, that's what we have in the United States. The government is just screwed up from the top all the way down to the bottom in all different kind of ways. But I'm gonna do some more research and try to find out like who gave them money and stuff, who they connected to in the Virginia state politics and stuff like that, to see who give these people money. I'm gonna go on Open Secrets and see if I can find anything on there. I'm gonna go on Open Secrets, try to connect the dots with some money or something, because they done piss somebody off. Normally it's just one scandal, but it's both the two top people in the executive branch in that state at the same time, two different separate scandals. So I don't know, but that's the world we live in, and with this whole Me Too thing, I mean, they've been going after brothers anyway. With that whole Me Too thing, just destroying, them. A lot of the white guys, they get like a little pass. They don't really never do nothing. They like, oh, he touched me or some shit. But they don't go in hard on them like they do the brothers. And with that lieutenant governor being the brother, they gonna go in extra hard. They gonna bring out that ugly bitch that started the whole Me Too movement. But yeah, it's just crazy. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think they done fucked over. It's either somebody pissed at them. That's what it looked like. Somebody mad at them. I could be wrong though. It's just my assumptions. I got a lot of different theories on like how all this stuff could have came out. But I'm gonna go back and look. I'm just gonna go check out and see who put funds in their coffers, start connecting the dots there. Normally, it has something to deal with whoever's, doing big money business in the state of Virginia. So I just thought that was ironic. And then with the looming government shutdown, that's, they got to come up with a deal. Dems already put $2 billion on the table, so they like 3.7, away from giving them the whole shebang. So, and they probably gonna cave. I mean, they want the wall just as bad as Trump. They want to give them the money. They just want to make sure they can find a way they don't take no smoke from it. But that's where we're at right now in the United States. Just another day, more chaos. The real issues don't get addressed, and the American people suffer. I mean, that's just how it's always been. Well, but this has been, Open Topics. Like I said, if when it's Open Topics, I probably normally just start the show off with something, and then we'll just talk about whatever the viewers want to talk about, and they can just leave what they want to talk about in the comments, and we'll just pick it up from there. So I'm your boy Dimebag, and this is, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good afternoon. Peace.